The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everybody, this is Charlie Posnick along with the inimitable David Newman.
Hey gang, good
David,
to be here.
welcome to our course today, or masterclass, excuse me, which is how to build, monetize, and maximize your online course. So instead of futzing around, I think we just get to the meat of the program here. So we're going to do today a deep dive. We're going to talk about how to create your program. More importantly, or equally as importantly, once your program is created, how to get clients interested and invested in your program, and how to use your online course to scale, expand, and grow your business. So to start off, if you would mind, let's do a quick poll. In the question box, if you could type in if you are primarily a consultant, coach, trainer, speaker. I'm fairly confident that most of the people on this call make money from multiple of these options here. But you know, if you make the majority of your money as a speaker, just type speaker in the question box. Or again, if you're a coach and trainer, you have my permission to put coach/trainer in the box. So just a quick poll. I want to get a sense for what kind of groups of people are on the masterclass today. David, what are we seeing there?
Yeah, so we got all kinds of cool people here, by the way, Charlie. So we got Paula. Great to see you, my friend. Paula says all. Jim Bob is trainer and speaker. Peter is trainer and college professor. Dave is a consultant. Margaret does coaching, training, and speaking. The awesome John Coe is here. Great to see you, buddy. Consultant. Don is a coach. Susan, another rock star, speaker and consultant. Ted, another rock star. Man, we got all the cool people in here now. Ted is the speaker trainer. Harriet is coach and trainer. Diane is speaker and consultant. These are coming in fast and furious here. Sean's a consultant. Bill's an author. Cortland is a consultant. Jerry's a coach and a speaker. Cynthia's a coach and a speaker. And the list goes on. So we have a nice cross section.
Excellent, excellent. So we want to talk about making money. So if you're a consultant and you want to make more money, you currently need to get more clients, you need to have more projects, you need to have more billable hours, which results in less time for you, less freedom, less ability to scale your business, and there is some sort of a cap on your income. If you're a speaker and a trainer, similar, more gigs, more travel and time on airplanes, more work in general, again, less time, less freedom, less ability to scale your business, cap on your earnings. Coach, again, more coaching clients, more calls booked, more time on your schedule, which is going to give you less free time. And again, there is a cap on your earnings. And before discovering online courses, David's business model was a pure coaching model. Is that correct, David?
It was. And folks might be noticing kind of a pattern here with like less time, less freedom, less everything good. So here's my schedule. I just kind of took a screenshot here from February of 2013. For about 10 years, actually 11 years, my business was a one-on-one private coaching, private mentoring model. Did that from 2002 till about 2013. This schedule is why I had to stop. If you count the meetings, there's 27 meetings over a 5-day work week. I literally could not go to the bathroom. And so Charlie knows this. A lot of you guys that are on the call here, if you've got some experience in my world, you know that I've talked about this before. It's just not scalable. So Charlie, let's move on to the next thing, because again, the soundbite is be careful what you ask for. Oh, I wish I had more speaking gigs. I wish I had more coaching clients. I wish I had more consulting work. Well, gang, that might very well happen. And are you building yourself a job or are you creating a business? And here's the definition. A business continues to make money without your personal time, attention, and presence. And that's what we're really talking about today. And you've got an income cap. So you can only sell so much time on the calendar. And then guess what? Time is gone. So for a long, long time, my one-on-one program was $4,500. That's what it was in 2005 and 6 and 7 and 8 and even all the way up to 2009 and 10. That calendar screenshot that I showed you in 2013, by that point it had moved up to 7,500 or 8,500, I forget which, in February of 2013, but it was significantly more than that. Let me take you through the math of the majority of that time. Let's say it's $4,500 for a 90-day program. I would have 10 to 12 active clients at a given time, right? 90 days is 1 quarter. So multiply that by about 4. So I could process and work through about 40 to 50 clients a year. How much are they paying? $4,500. That's between 180 and 225. Now I'm out of inventory. I'm out of time. I'm working like a dog. 60 plus hour work weeks. The biggest problem with this, gang, whether it's speaking or coaching or training or whatever you're doing, when you stop, the money stops. And that sucks. That just sucks. Charlie, does that suck?
Big time, big time, David. So the question I would ask is, if the folks on this masterclass are selling your time for money, what is your income cap? I'm sure you've given some thought to, well, I charge this much for my program, I charge this much for speeches. Just type in the question box what you believe your income cap is. Because whether or not you've sat and thought about it or did the math, you do have one. And I just want to kind of get a sense for sort of where people are with that question as far as income cap. Anybody have an income cap that's on this call, David?
Well, and let me just also encourage people, as you're kind of doing the math in your head, I didn't figure this out until I realized, okay, this is not sustainable. If I'm fully booked, fully maxed out, what does that look like? I came up with $225K. So figure out if you're doing how many coaching projects, how many consulting gigs, how many speeches per month. If you were fully calendar completely full, there is a number that is your ceiling. And there is no possible way for you to get beyond that ceiling unless you have some investable opportunities beyond selling your time. I'm wondering, what's your number? Do that math right now. What's your number? And let's see what kind of numbers are coming in. So some people are putting in 75K, 162,000. So Paula did the math on that. It's not 160, it's not 165, it's 162. Ted's at 250, Richard's at 250, a couple people coming in at 250, 90, 115, another 200K. So yeah, these are not, this is not retirement money. This is, I've got myself a nice job money, but are you the CEO of your coaching and training business or your speaking and consulting business, or did you just build yourself a nice speaking, coaching, and training job? So even more coming in, 250K, 125K, haven't figured it out yet. Well, here's the problem. The problem is you can figure it out, you hit it, and then you're done. So we got to figure out some ways to make you guys more money. Charlie?
So the number one key to results is to get out of the old mindset from a one-to-one or trading your time to a one-to-many mindset.
Big time.
Big time. So this, David, correct me if I'm wrong, has resulted in you, through your speaker marketing workshop, generating, through your courses you have, generating in excess of $1 million in the previous 3 years.
Yes. Well, and also, I know you're going to talk about this later, Charlie. There's actually two facets of this. One is making money from your course, and the other is making money with your course. And so taken all together, that is that 7-figure number over the course of 3 years. And so let's move on and we'll kind of explain where that came from. So every single person on this masterclass, you have some source materials. People say, well, how do I get started? What's the raw material of my online course? In my case, the raw material of my online course was this 3-day workshop from 2005. This is July 19 through 21, 2005. And we did a 3-day program called the Professional Speaking Boot Camp at the Chester County Chamber. And Charlie and I here are neighbors in suburban Philadelphia. It's about 20 miles from where Charlie and I are sitting right now, 20 miles west. And I did this program. No idea about monetizing it beyond just those 10, 11 people that came. They paid $1,500 each to spend a weekend with me and learn the secrets to paid professional speaking. So let's move on. We'll see how crazy I was after that. Then I figure, okay, I have all this content. I have this shoebox full of stuff that I created for them. Why don't I record it? Why don't I put it online? This was like the heyday of internet marketing around 2006. It's my old company name on there, Unconsulting. And it says in highlighting, if you can read the box there, a side of the box says, everything included from the original $1,550 boot camp. Woohoo! Professional speaking boot camp in a box. I probably sold about 7 of these. I think I sold one to my mom. So this was not a big seller, but I think it was hey, let's put it online. Let's see who buys it. So that was stupid. And let's move on. So here's what I've then since done, because I'm the slow kid on the bus. I said, okay, let me do a group coaching program. And I started doing these group coaching programs around the same content. I repackaged everything. I made beautiful binders. It's now called the Speaker Marketing Toolkit. And I started doing this in about 2009. So late 2008, early 2009. I did this program 13 times as a live-led group coaching program. No course, no automation, no technology, start date, end date. People paid between $1,000 and $1,500 to be with me for, it was initially 12 weeks, and then I boiled it down to 10, then I boiled it down to 8. In its current format, it's actually 7, because less is more. We'll talk about that later. And then Charlie, let's move on. Here's how high tech it was, right? Late 2008. No Facebook, no nothing. Yahoo groups. Yes, my friends, cutting edge technology, Yahoo groups. But I did this 13 times in real time. That's what it looked like. I'm embarrassed. It's ugly. It's scary. Let's move on.
But David, the Smithsonian called. They want your Yahoo group back.
You know what? We're gonna bronze this puppy. We're gonna bronze this puppy. So for you guys listening, here's what I'm encouraging you to think about. The source material for your course. If I could do it with a 3-day boot camp that I delivered one time in 2005, everyone here is better prepared, better positioned, and more readily gonna monetize a course, because the course, you already have the keynote. You already have a workshop or a seminar. You already have a backlog of great content with your articles or the blogs or the book that you've written. You already have a one-on-one coaching program or a group coaching program. You already are doing fantastic consulting work with your corporate clients. All of that is raw material and fodder that could be used. And now, Charlie, why don't you take it from here about how we can work backwards from that raw material bucket full of goodies?
Sure. So this is how David outlined his course. And you may want to think of this in the context of even writing a book. If you're thinking about writing a book, you want to come up with your several major ideas and maybe minor ideas. So a module here can be, for our example purposes, the equivalent of a chapter in your book. So the first module that David came up with was Smart Start, and wanted some topics like build your speaker marketing strategy, define your business speaking model, decide on your target niche, etc. Second module, positioning and naming, 5 keys to develop your message, reposition from speaker to problem solver. Third module, goals, targets, and focus, how to get the right prospects fast, create goals, targets, and metrics that matter. So at the end of the day, David's course was 7 modules, and we find that kind of a sweet spot for courses is probably maybe in the 6 to 10 module area. At the end of the day, less is more, and we just want to do what we need to do to get people the information. So when you're thinking about kind of how to work backwards, as I mentioned, kind of less is more. You want to include the essential steps. You want to include only the essential steps, only the core principles and key practices. Generally speaking, a 5-hour course is probably better than a 10-hour course. And the overriding concept is our goal with this course is to shorten the path and accelerate the speed to get people the result that we're promising them. Tools and templates and scripts, some people call it a resource section. Another great place, another good tool to have in your course where you can put additional information, and you just refer to that in your course. Hey, here's a point I'm making in my course. By the way, there's 3 articles that support this point in the resource section. So the point here is there's no need to kind of add that in your course. If you're not sure, as little as possible to maximize the results. So as you're thinking about the course, it's important to think about the team that you need to build to put this course together. So these essentially are the skill sets you need to create your course. If you've started to put together a course, tried to put together a course, and it isn't built, chances are you can't handle any one of these particular things, you don't know how to handle any one of these particular responsibilities, or maybe you shouldn't handle it. Kind of said in another way, I'm a real big fan of outsourcing. And the 3 times when you want to outsource is you want to outsource something that you don't know how to do and don't want to learn how to do. So for me, for example, video editing. I don't know how to edit videos. I don't want to learn how to edit videos, especially just to do kind of a one-off course. So that's something I want to kind of a team member that I want to add to my team here. The second reason why you might want to outsource is something that you actually know how to do, but don't want to do. So an example for me would be the tech. While I understand the tech, it just kind of makes me crazy a little bit. So it's just not something I want to do. I'd rather pay somebody else to do that for me. And lastly, from an outsourcing perspective, you could know how to do something. You could want to do that, but it's probably not the highest and best use of your time. For an example I'll put forth here is project management. A lot of people may say, oh, project management, I have to coordinate this, coordinate that. I've done that before. For what you'd pay a project manager, I would think that you want to kind of think about building a team with that qualification on it. So just to dive a little deeper into the team that you want to put together to do your course, the instructional designer. So we hear time and again when I talk to someone who doesn't have a course, one of the first things they say is, I have all this information, I have a book, I have blog articles, as David was referring to earlier, I have source material, I just can't get my head around it. I just can't organizing it. It's similar, again, if you're sitting down and writing a book. You have the information, but it would be extraordinarily helpful, and one could say fundamental, to have someone help you think through and organize this. So a good instructional designer will probably interview you for several hours. They'll take all your raw materials, they'll build outlines for the course, they'll ask you if you might have some stories or examples, some worksheets to put in the resource section, and this person will help you eventually write 7 to 10 complete word-for-word scripts to go with the modules that they've done up. People like this are not cheap. You could probably expect to invest a few to several $1,000s in an instructional designer, a good quality instructional designer. The second thing is a graphic designer, and this is another issue that I have come across. Most people are familiar with. Most people have done something in PowerPoint, and they say, I can handle it, no problem. And you know what? Any particular person on this masterclass can potentially handle that. I think the key here is that we want to make sure that the end result of what you have with your slide decks, with your PowerPoints, is something that's going to justify a 4-figure fee for your course. You want it to really look professional. You want people to look and feel, have it look and feel as though people got their money from what they invested in your course. When I was looking for people for our team, I had more than one person to do 10 slide decks, quote me, in excess of $6,000. I think reasonably you could probably expect somewhere $3,000 to $5,000 investment for that. Project management, we spoke about project management. This is, again, a stopping point for a lot of people. You could have the greatest team put together, but if you're the one that needs to make sure that person A has done something, they've switched it over to person B, making sure that you have on the calendar when you're going to go do the recording. There's just all these little pieces that oftentimes you are the bottleneck. If you're being the project manager, you're being the bottleneck for this whole team, this whole project you're doing. I believe that the investment for a project manager is fairly nominal, $1,000 to $2,000, and worth every penny of it. Video editor. I was always under the impression that, the concept is, all right, I have a script, I have a PowerPoint, I know what's going on, so I'm gonna have 10 modules, and each module has 20 pages of a script in it. So I'm just gonna go through and read it. And you know what? During one module, I may flub something, I may just stop for a second, take a drink of water, and go through. What's the big deal with editing? There's a couple of cuts here and there. We just had a client in this past weekend, and you'd be surprised how many times you're sitting there and looking at something, and you may have read it before, but it doesn't sound right, so you have to stop. You want to just make some notes, redo that. Maybe there's something that's on the PowerPoint that you see. Oh my gosh, this now that I look at it and I'm reading it, doesn't really make sense. So there's just a lot of kind of piecing together of the videos when you sit down and do a video recording. And you want to make sure, just in general, even if you're a good reader, if you're good at what you're doing, and you go through with few stops, you could be a heavy breather, maybe just the ahs and ums, and just the pause is the way you normally pause when you talk. All this stuff goes into video editing. Again, I think you should look at maybe $3,000 to $5,000 for a video editor. The tech, I had mentioned that I get kind of crazy doing the tech. When you're looking at putting together a course, we're going to talk about choosing a platform, getting all the videos uploaded to the site, audios, transcripts, make sure all of your tools and tactics and worksheets and things like that are in the resource section. There's definitely testing, because once everything's up on the platform, you need people to be able to buy the course. So it has to integrate seamlessly with your shopping cart or your payment processor, credit card processor. Once people buy the course, we need to have some facility whereby they're getting some emails thanking them for buying the course, some positive reinforcement there, and also technically how they need to, what they need to do to kind of log on and register and get started with the course. Here, you could be looking at easily a few to several $1,000 investment for a good tech person who's going to make things go seamlessly from day one. So when you're deciding on tech, or maybe even some hardware or software, kind of what our clients use for recording, we use PowerPoint and ScreenFlow for a Mac, or Camtasia for a PC. We use a Blue Snowball microphone. Blue is the manufacturer, Snowball is the model. You can get it on Amazon. It's a great microphone. It's less than $100, and it's a USB connection, so it plugs right into your computer. You probably want a webcam if you're going to be doing maybe some group coaching, things like that. David uses the Logitech C920. I think I have the older version, the C720. You want something like Lead Pages and MailChimp to keep track of everything. We do calls with using Zoom. So again, Zoom, it'd be nice to have the webcam there so you can see someone. And you also probably want to set up some community on Facebook. David, does this look familiar here to you?
That is my office, my friend. So there's the C920, there's the Blue Snowball microphone, and we're only preaching what we practice.
So at this point, having gone through this so far, what you should now have is a good sense of an outline for a 7 to 10 module course. From going through that process, you're going to be putting together your marketing language. You will have a good grip on your core content. Again, emphasis on the word core, and any additional things, tools, templates, and scripts that you want to add, and then ideas about how to build your team, or what kind of people you need on your team to successfully do the course. So David, this is your money here.
It is. This is my favorite slide of his whole thing, Charlie. I love this slide. So here's the deal, guys. I've built several courses, and I'm seeing in the chat window several folks say, I still use the speaker marketing toolkit. So Jim Bob is here, and our other clients are here, which is fantastic. I'm so glad that that's continuing to add value for you. But my first course that I actually monetized was my book marketing workshop. And didn't really know what I was doing, but I launched it, and I kind of did the, do-it-yourself, long, slow, hard, painful path to this, which is why I'm so excited to partner with Charlie, because now we're not doing the long, slow, hard, painful version of this. But even doing it the wrong way generated almost $75,000 of revenue there. The next course, I got a little bit smarter, a little bit better, a little bit more longevity. This is the program that I had done as a live-led program 13 times. I coursified it. I'm not sure if that's really a word or not, but I'm making it into a word. So once I coursified the speaker marketing workshop, that was over $250,000. This is, again, lifetime. This is not per year, right? This is lifetime. And this puppy came online, I think, in 2014. So again, we're looking at 3 years, 3 years of sales here. And then the real inflection point came when I said, okay, people don't want just the course. They want mentoring. They want personal access to me. They want my eyeballs and earballs, and they want me as a sounding board, and they want me as their mentor and their coach. I don't want to waste any mentoring or coaching time on teaching. I want to have the course be the foundational teaching stuff, and I want to invite people into a mentoring relationship with me, which is called the Speaker Profit Formula, which is the teaching happens in the course, and that's about 15-20% of the value. And the mentoring, which is a real-time, real-access mentoring program, that has been the game changer in my business. And I started doing that in late 2014, early 2015. This is what took my revenue from a few $100K to $500K in 2015, about 1.5 times that in 2016. And right now, I am very pleased and humbled to tell you that we are super close to 7 figures in 2017, all driven by the course and what the course was able to create in my business. So taken together, these 3 numbers, 758, 262, 74, over the course of a 3.5 year time span, that is over $1 million of sales from the course and because of the course. So this kind of money is very doable in your business. You just have to have the course. If I didn't have the course, guess what? These 3 numbers would be 0, 0, and 0.
Would it be a green 0 and a purple 0 and a red 0?
Black. Black like death. Black like the death of my business.
So as we've gone through, that's great, David. As we've gone through this, you have a sense of what's involved in getting the course together. But one of the things we promised early on is we want to talk about kind of marketing and selling your course. So once you have the course, different ways to make money by having the course. So one of the first things, just kind of bake it into your identity. Obviously, you'll have it on your homepage or in your email signature file. Probably want to have it in the descriptions of your social media account. Something that a lot of people don't realize is that it probably could and should go to your LinkedIn profile. I'm the creator of the XYZ course. People are writing blog posts, maybe below the blog post, there could be a call to action to learning more about the course, could go to a landing page about the course. Maybe you could even have a sidebar ad on your website that would go to a landing page for the course. Upselling and cross-selling. So if you're doing a keynote, you can talk with the meeting planner and pre-sell to the meeting planner licenses to your course. Just like you could say to a meeting planner, hey, do you want everybody in the audience to get a copy of my book? Well, maybe everybody in the audience can or should have a copy of your course or access to your course. Similar with training, just in negotiating, adding the course to the training as an upsell. If you're doing one-on-one clients, again, you've seen situations where you can buy the book and the digital version of the book. So maybe they buy the one-on-one coaching and they can add the course to that for an upsell. Or in any of these situations, you may want to include it in the pricing, maybe add a little to the pricing, include it, to make sure that repetition, reinforcement, and application takes place. That's huge. We want people to get results from the course and the information we're giving them. And even back of the room sales, most people are familiar, speakers, with back of the room sales for their book. How about back of the room sales for your course? Because everybody here is attending, instead of the course being $1,000, it's $600, something along those lines. So different ways, again, our sales toolkit to monetize the course. A key point I want to make here is one of the best sales strategies is to have a great course. So you want to focus your course on maybe your most popular topics, clients' biggest problems, trends. We had a client in this weekend, and he said almost verbatim, the reason why I'm doing this course is because I keep getting asked the same questions over and over and over again. So he knows that the marketplace wants answers to those questions, so why not package it in the course and present it to them? You want to make sure that the content is of evergreen interest, so it's as applicable a year or two now as it is today. And if you're ever in doubt, always good to kind of survey your tribe and find out what they may want to pay for. As you're thinking about kind of the topics of the course, there's, you could be a Facebook ads specialist, but if you did a Facebook ads course for authors, that's going to be much more niche and probably give you a little better return than just putting yourself out there as a general Facebook ad specialist. Similar for project management, maybe you do project management for engineering firms. So the key here is to go deep and not broad. Another thing, just invite people through email marketing, personal invitations. The key here is with current clients, past clients. They're great prospects for your course. You could do webinars for a course, many different ways to sell your course. David, this is a snapshot from your personal dashboard.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. So this is, 2+ years ago. It's September 2015. And again, I'm in the course sales mojo. I'm doing the course sales. I'm doing the mentoring sales. Then Charlie, go ahead and just pop that next slide. There's 57K in September. Did a little bit better in October. So $67,000 of course-driven sales. This month blew my doors off. This is my first six-figure month ever, underline ever. We've had some since then, but again, if I didn't have the course and my entire business now being centered on the course and the course plus mentoring and then the course plus a mastermind program, it's $25,000 annual mastermind program. Who's in that? People that graduate from the course. So literally, this stopped me in my tracks, and I said, holy smokes, if you're a speaker, you're an author, you're an expert, and you don't have a course, you are working way too hard. Could I have made this money from coaching in a 30-day period? Absolutely not. Could I have made this money speaking? There's not enough speaking days on the calendar. I mean, literally, I'd have to be booked. My fee is between $7,500 and $9,500. Let's just use $7,500 for fun. There are 4 work weeks, right? 5 days a week, booked every single day, Monday through Friday, all of November. That's 20 times 7,500. That would be 150,000. No speaker ever is booked 100% of the time, 20 days in a row. It would never have happened. And even if it would have, the laws of the time-space continuum would not allow me to be in Seattle on one day, Boston the next day, Florida the next day, Texas the next day. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Your business feels that way, that you're being like hyper-spaced from one part of the country to another, and you don't know which way is up, and you don't know what city you're waking up in the hotel room. So this was a game changer. And again, if it were not for courses, we would not be able to put these kinds of numbers into the bank account.
So it would seem it's kind of an appropriate time to ask the question, and if you could maybe type your answer in the question box, what would your life and business look like if you were making an extra $10,000 to $20,000 a month? We'll do the math about even getting there in a few moments, but in thinking about this question, would you work the same amount of hours and make more money? Would you work less hours to make a similar amount of money? Would you use additional money if you made it to travel? What would your life and business look like if you were making an extra 10 to 20,000 a month? If you would type that in the question box, I'd be interested where people's heads are at about that.
Yeah, and some people, they say, you know what, I'd raise my fees because I wouldn't worry. I'd have this nice cushion of income. Some people are saying, more vacation, more time off, more flexibility. Folks are saying more selective client base. Yes, oh my God, more selective with who you choose to bring on, right? This opens up so many opportunities for you. I want to hear more. To keep typing in the question box, what would that mean to you? Personally and professionally and financially. And we're not talking about, we're not going to get to let's do $147,000 next month. We're talking about baby steps. And we're going to see some screens here coming up. I know, Charlie, you're going to share some of the screens of kind of as we're figuring this out, what's possible, $10,000, $20,000 extra per month, depending on how many people you're in front of, how busy your speaking calendar is, how many folks you're coaching, how many folks you're consulting. That becomes a real question.
David, what would you say to people who said, I'm just starting out, I'm kind of at the early stages of things? I mean, what would you say to them as far as a course goes?
Well, again, the opposite of build it and they will come is build it so they can buy it. Even if you're just starting out, you say, well, I don't know exactly, so analysis paralysis is what kills so many people. And, doing that project management and trying to kind of manage yourself and being the general contractor, if your course never gets built, you're not going to monetize anything. So here's how I started out, right? This is early 2014. This is almost 4 years ago now, actually. In February 2018, it'll be 4 years. This is one of my first efforts, right? I had done live led. I said, hey, let's make a course. Didn't have any idea how any of this would work. Boom, $10,000 payday. Tried it again, right? Another month, another snapshot. These are all same day sales, right? I'm speaking, I'm doing a webinar, I'm promoting this to my email list. 13,000, 16,000. The next one's going to be 20,000. You have to figure it out as you go. Are there 10 people in your world that would buy a course? Of course there are. Your course is $1,000, $1,500. Are there 20 people? Are there 25 people? In the next 30 days, how many people are you in front of? And I know, Charlie, we're doing the math on this here in a minute in a couple of slides, but my encouragement to you is don't wait until you have this all figured out, and don't wait for someday. Biggest advice I got, and that I now preach and teach and advocate, please build it so they can buy it. Build it so they can buy it. Figure it out as you go. And these are all numbers of me figuring it out before I really had any idea of how this could scale and how this could go crazy.
David, this slide, in my estimation, is worth the time that everyone on this call is investing in this call. And you alluded to this before, but it draws kind of the distinction for me of making money, again, with your course, meaning selling a course. I have $1,000 course, I'll sell it to this person. I have $1,000 course, I'll sell it to that person. So making money with your course. We've talked about different ways to do that, but also making money from your course. So the fact that you do have a course, and as David referenced a little while ago, he created a mentorship program around the course. So if you're thinking this through, you have the course, you create the 4, 6, 8 week, 12 week, 10 week mentorship program, maybe do live mentoring a couple times a week, and you're giving the person the course that you have to begin with. Say, go through this course, take some notes, ask some questions, so that when you come to the mentoring portion of this program, we are ready to go. We're going to hit the ground running. You will get results from this program. And that could change a $1,000 course price tag into a $10,000 mentorship price tag. It's potentially a 10x factor on what you could earn by having a course. And David, again, back to you. This is your, let me see, September of this year. This is your
It
card.
is. And the only reason that I put this in, we were going to update the screenshot, but actually, if we look at because this is actually what is today, the 13th. Today's the 13th. A 30-day snapshot now. I don't want to depress people, but the 30-day snapshot now, the rolling 30 days, is $93,000. $93,000 from November 13 to December 13. But the point is, imagine consistently making this revenue. And again, you got to walk before you run, before you fly. But none of this money would be coming in if I didn't have the course to market, monetize, maximize, and to really accelerate my clients' success with. I don't want to waste mentor time teaching. I want the teaching to be asynchronous. And the reason that this program is generating such fantastic results for people is we're hitting the ground, like Charlie just said, hitting the ground running. People are getting results almost from day one. And it's a game changer for them. And obviously you can see it's a game changer for me.
So David, you talked about maybe doing the math, and we've used the number of $1,000 for a course, and we'll use the number of $10,000 for mentoring programs. It begs the question, can you do 10 course sales a month at $1,000? If so, over the course of a year, it's $120,000, 2 mentoring clients a month at $10,000, $240,000. So on an annual basis, that would generate an additional $360,000 by selling 10 courses to mentoring clients. Let's say you're sitting here thinking, geez, that sounds like a lot, 10 courses and 2 mentoring programs a month. Let's cut it in half. You're doing 5 course sales a month and 1 mentoring program a month. Instead of $360,000 extra this year, it will be maybe $180,000 extra. And again, we can keep playing that game. You think that's too much, cut that in half. Just begs the question, at some point, I think we all agree that having the course and marketing it and selling it will allow you the opportunity to generate significantly more income than you have now, obviously, because you have no revenue from that, but significantly more income that would be material to you and could help you make that transition from stopping trading time for dollars to go in more into a one-to-many model. David, this gentleman, Charles, was a client of yours, correct?
Yes. So Charles is a guy who was just super focused, super driven. Go ahead and just tap the arrow again there because I want to kind of zoom in. I encouraged Charles. I said, you got to have a program. You got to have a program. And again, the same advice I'm giving you guys. Build it so they can buy it. And here's what he said. David, I made $54,000 in the past month from the executive mentoring program I created. Remarkable what can happen when you set an ambitious goal. Now, here's the exciting part to me. I recruited one of the execs from a webinar I gave, but the rest came from my Vistage workshops and my existing network, meaning things he was already doing and leaving all that money on the table because he didn't have a next step. He didn't have a back-end offer. These people were ready to buy. He did no additional work, and $54,000 came in 30 days. So this can be obviously it was a game changer for Charles, and he's continued month after month after month to sell $10, $15, $20, $25,000 when it was brand new, of course, big splash. But even $25,000 a month, it's ridiculous. As I'm saying, even a little piddling $25,000 a month could be a complete game changer in your business. Let's move on.
Let's see if we could justify some of the numbers we were talking about before. So if you're a speaker and you're speaking in front of 100 people a month, is it unreasonable to expect a 5% conversion rate of selling course sales? If you're speaking in front of 200 people a month, again, 5%, here's 10 course sales, 300 people a month, 15 course sales. It could be an additional $5, $10, $15,000 a month. Again, if you're a speaker in this particular environment. What if you're a coach? You're coaching an executive. Are there other people in the executive's department that could utilize your course? If you're a consultant and you're talking with a particular company, and maybe you're working with the higher level folks in the company, how many other people in the company could potentially use the information that's in your course? I think the point here is that with little to no additional sales effort, by the fact that you have a course, you have an opportunity to generate material additional income. And the most powerful word here is existing. So focusing on existing, you can generate new clients, but just your past clients and your current clients and your existing network. These people already know you, they love you, they've paid you money for things. So more than likely, they'll be willing to pay you money for your course as well. And as David likes to say, it's as close to free money as you'll ever illegally see.
And I'll tell you, this existing concept, no additional marketing, right? So look at Charles's story, look at the audiences that you're in front of, the coaching clients, the consulting clients, the training workshops. All of those people are interested in what Charlie shared earlier, which is they love what you do, but they want repetition, reinforcement, application. The course is their ticket. Buying the course individually and in bulk, and we've got some exciting things to share about that here in a minute, but buying the course individually and in bulk is the key that will add incredible value for them, because you're giving them the key to repetition, reinforcement, and application of the ideas and concepts that you share.
Well, speaking about bulk sales and licensing, here's a great example of a career coach who happened to be a former Microsoft executive who had a $997 course, a $1,000 course, and she was selling it one-off. Nothing wrong with that. She happened to be talking to an executive at Microsoft who had 900 people in his department. So she worked out a deal for the reduced price of $600 per person. She licensed 900 seats of her course to them and generated over $500,000 in revenues because she had a course. Just again, bringing home the point of what David's been saying all along, it starts with having a course. So I'm not sure why you showed up to this masterclass today. More than likely, you're tired of hearing people say, hey, you should have a course, you should have a product, you should have a back-end offer, really not knowing where to begin. You maybe want to make more money, reach more people, and we refer to getting off the gig-to-gig hamster wheel, or maybe saying it another way, just trading less time for dollars. And I think everybody who is on this call knows deep down that offering courses will serve to get you the more time, more money, and more freedom. So at this point in time, you have a choice. Information alone is not going to cut it. You have great information. Just having it sit there and not doing anything with it is not going to create a course for you. You need a system, team, expertise. We talked about the system, the team you need, the people you need to get this done. You can do it slow using what we shared today, and there's going to be a fair amount of trial and error in there. I know that firsthand. Or you can get it done quickly and apply for one of our 3 done-for-you course creation slots that we're opening up with Expert Dream Team. So with Expert Dream Team, you're getting it all done end to end. It's kind of like ghostwriting a book, which may run you 25 to 100 grand. We are going to go take you through this whole process and do all of the work for you. You will be involved in the process, and we are doing all the work. So we're going to interview you for 6 to 8 hours, probably over the course of a couple weeks. We're going to build out the course modules, the word-for-word scripts, the great quality PowerPoints we were talking about. You'll come to Philadelphia for 2 production days on site with us to record the videos, and we will take care of all of the technical aspects. You don't have to lift a finger on anything. The end result, the end deliverable, the final deliverable is a completely sales-ready course. Once we give you the keys, so to speak, 2 minutes later, you can have someone go to the link, click it, pay you, and buy your course. So we talked about the team that we wanted to build. This is just an aggregation kind of all the slides, which comes out to roughly $17,000 to $30,000 investment, not really including your time in here. And most importantly, I think the opportunity cost of not having a course. So I feel confident that anyone on this call can go through this, do some of this themselves, put it together. But if it takes you 6 months to do it, and by having someone do it for you, you can save yourself 3 or 4 months, what is the opportunity cost of not having that course for those extra 3 or 4 months in my example? So if you're looking at it from a financial perspective, after your first 17 to 30 course sales, after that, it's pretty much pure profit. This is a snapshot from our website. The investment for us doing the course for you completely end-to-end is $20K. So just again, reinforces $20K, 4 times $5,000. From this webinar, for the first 3 people who apply and we invite in, we're going to take off the last payment essentially and just do 3 payments at $15K. So again, I want to be crystal clear on the outcome. We're giving you a completely sales-ready course. So today, you're on this call because you have a speech, book, consulting, you have the source material. We're going to take everything and get your premium course built online and ready to sell. Period. End of statement. So the next step is to apply. We don't work with everyone. We want to make sure that there's a good fit. We want to make sure that we can feel like we can help you where you are with your course material to create a great saleable course. So you need to apply. There's a link down there, and David, maybe you could put that in the question box.
Yes, indeed.
So it's a live link, callwithcharlie.com. That would be me. I've cleared my schedule over for the rest of the day today and tomorrow and Friday. So I would encourage you to, if you're thinking about it, if you're seriously thinking about this, call and let's talk about it. I do want to tell one quick thing. We had somebody on a previous webinar who typed in the question box, oh, you know, I want to do this, but I don't feel like I have all my stuff organized. It may take me a couple months to do this. Do you think it would be appropriate for me to set up a call with you now? So I said, yes, set up the call. Long story short, he is now a client. And the funny thing is that he has come to the table more organized than just about anybody else that we worked with. So the key thing here is you understand the benefit from having the online course. You understand the benefit that can be had by having someone do this for you. If you have any other questions, concerns, or considerations, I would encourage you still to reach out, callwithcharlie.com, set up a time. I'm happy to chat. We'll chat for 15, 20, 30 minutes and make a determination as to whether it may be a fit. So we do want to leave time at the end here for Q&A. Any questions you have about stuff that we've talked about, stuff that we've mentioned, what we went over today, or anything specifically about course creation, David and I are very happy to answer your questions. So while you're thinking about that and kind of putting that in the question box, just to review, it starts with an application and a conversation with me. So schedule your time now to do that either today or tomorrow or Friday, because we have 3 slots we've opened up. Once you sign up for the time, you'll automatically receive a questionnaire. And I would ask that you just be as complete and detailed as possible, because that's going to allow me to come to the call as prepared as possible to make our time together as efficient as possible. So again, the link is callwithcharlie, that's me.com. David, is there anyone, any questions so far that people maybe have about the stuff we went over today?
Yeah. So Harriet's asking about what happens to people who are not in the U.S. as far as flying to Philadelphia. And you know, my encouragement to you is if what you heard today makes sense, and this is something that you want to do, we can certainly do the coaching and the recording of the coaching, kind of the mentoring as you're recording. We can do that via Skype. You do not absolutely have to come to Philadelphia if you don't want to. I know that Harriet's in South Africa, so for coming from South Africa to Philadelphia, although for some people it may seem like a hop, skip, and a jump, it's a big trip for Harriet, so she might want to do it with our Skype option. And the main thing is that looking at the business model and looking at the financial case, if a course is compelling to you, you should book a call. And don't worry about the logistics. Don't worry about, we've got all kinds of different ways that we can handle the recording for you and with you if you're outside the US. So pop over to callwithcharlie.com. First we have to check, really, if this is a fit for your topic and if it's a fit for your business model. If it's a fit for your topic and it's a fit for your business model, and there is a strong financial case that you've got a saleable course, which Charlie can totally help you figure out in a very short amount of time on that initial exploratory interview, and we decide that it's a mutual fit to move ahead, don't worry about the logistics. We'll take care of the logistics with you.
Agreed.
What else? Other questions? Anything that we talked about? Any of the teaching from today? Or any specific questions about you and your online course idea that Charlie and I can help with? And by the way, I saw some questions fly in earlier, and I apologize, kind of things were going hot and heavy here. As always, please feel free to retype that question if you typed it earlier, so it's at the top of our question queue, and I apologize, there was lots of Q&A kind of flying before, and it wasn't Q&A time, but now it is Q&A time. So John is asking, do you use a LMS software, and if so, what is it?
So we use Kajabi as our platform. David has used that for his courses. We find that it's very competent platform to be doing this. So that is what we use for our course creation.
And Charlie, I'm getting another question about time frame. So when people, let's say people apply for the call at callwithcharlie.com, it's a mutual yes. What's the timeline on getting the course built, ready, and out the door for sale?
With an extraordinarily high degree of confidence, we're going to get this done within 90 days. And I'm being conservative there. On the other end of the spectrum, if the moon and stars and sun align and you are responding to our emails or needs immediately, and there's not a lot of adjustments needed to the script or to the PowerPoint, which again, we're going to do as many adjustments as needed, but assuming it's something that's just going very, very, very smoothly from your perspective, I'm not going to guarantee in 60 days, but somewhere in that 60 to 90 day time frame is a good, reasonable expectation. Got it.
Susan has a question about marketing. She says, my biggest probably mental barrier, probably mental is in parentheses, is the marketing of the course. I get overwhelmed when I even think about that. So let's address that maybe with a little bit of more of a riff on that existing concept.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So our primary focus is, and we feel like this is a good fit for folks we work with, is people who are successful at what they're doing, which I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt that everyone on this call is successful at what they're doing, which means you're generating revenue from your intellectual property, and you're doing that through speaking and or coaching and or consulting. So you have existing clients, past clients, and more than likely some pipeline of future clients who would be very low-hanging fruit for a course like this. At some point in time, anyone may choose to do some cold marketing with their course. It's a different conversation, and I think that's where a lot of people, David, get hung up, is when they think about a course, automatically they think of, okay, now I have to figure out how to sell it, how to do a webinar, how to do landing pages, how to do this, how to do that. You don't really need to do that if you're existing in business, have clients, current, past. That's kind of where our focus is, and that's where we try to emphasize this would be a good thing for existing clients and those that are coming down the road sooner rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's also talk about, I'm getting a couple of questions about the content, and you mentioned the story about, someone saying, oh my gosh, my stuff's basically in a shoebox. Can I take the shoebox to the bookkeeper and the bookkeeper will know what to do with it? How ready do people have to be, or how do you answer that shoebox question?
You do not, if you're thinking in your mind, I have to become prepared with my I's dotted, my T's crossed, my ducks in a row. I have to have given some thought or a lot of thought to what I want the modules to be. That is erroneous thinking. That is our job. That is the job of the instructional designer, who will essentially pull that out of you and may ask you, hey, could you send me a copy of your book? May say, hey, can you send me a copy of some blog post and things you've written? So that is the least, lowest concern you should ever have. Someone who's on this call who is generating revenue from speaking or coaching or consulting, you have the source material. That's not the question having the source material. It's as I mentioned way back when on one of the slides, where a lot of people get hung up is they say, I have the source material without using that language. Maybe I have the information, I just need to get it all together. That is our job. We will do that for you, period, full stop.
Yeah.
You're going to be involved in the process. We're going to be talking with you. You're going to be okaying the scripts and the PowerPoints. So, it's all, we're not going to go away, build something, come back, say, oh, by the way, here it is. It's an interactive process. The point is we are doing all the work. You just need to hop on a call. We need you to hop on a call, answer some questions, review some documents. And then the big piece, I guess, is to do the recording. You're the one who needs to record the modules.
Yeah, no, perfect. And then we're getting another question about, do you think the video all has to be recorded at your desk? Could some of it be video that's professionally done of me speaking on stage because the content is the same? So what do you think about integrating video clips into the online course material?
So anything can be done. And if it's some simple integration, we can take care of that. It's been my experience that if a person is asking that question, they may pose it as, hey, I have a video clip, can we put something in there? When in fact, they may want a lot of stuff they have in there. I've done a lot of the stuff, Charlie. I don't need to redo a lot of the stuff. Let's just cut and paste it in. Any of that stuff can be done. It's just a different scope than what we're offering here. So that would be kind of a custom conversation that we would have. I would encourage someone who's asking that question to be open to going with the flow, letting us take the materials and redo it, because it's not going to cost you less by saying, oh, I have a couple things already recorded, let's put them in. It's probably going to cost you more because it's more work. It's out of the scope of the normal way that we put together courses.
Right. And this is Susan's question. And actually, since then, she's asked a follow-up question, which I'll get to in a second. My 2 cents on that, Charlie and Susan, is you want to be careful not to Frankenstein it. And when I say Frankenstein it, I mean, we got some audio PowerPoint, we got a video clip, we got some animation, and all of a sudden, the whole look and feel starts to look like a jumbled mess. In the old days of the computer software industry, we would call this shovelware. Shovelware is, let's just shovel a whole bunch of crap onto a CD-ROM and make that a product. And this is not shovelware. This is meant to look like a beautiful, integrated, seamless, end-to-end, premium online course product. People don't want it. Oh, here's a video and here's a clip and let me insert this and let me jam this in there. So it's not about blowing everything up and starting from scratch. It's about, how do we streamline? How do we make this graceful, concise, beautiful, teachable, valuable, and make it your flagship back-end offering? Flagship back-end offering is a completely different conversation than shovelware. So, but the follow-up question Susan has for us is, I have the course. It's her Harvard Executive Education course. That sounds pretty cool. I need to figure out how to translate what is currently an entirely interactive team exercise approach into an online format. Can you help me with that?
Of course.
Easy answer, right? That's the beauty of having an instructional designer. That's the beauty of having the curriculum developers, that we're not just going, yeah, let's record that. I mean, there's going to be ways to translate that live experience into an online experience, and it's going to be different, but it's going to get the same educational, instructional design outcomes.
Well, and David, it's a similar situation if someone's a speaker and you have 5 different keynotes. I mean, that's 3 to 4 to 5 hours worth of information.
Yeah.
So one could argue it's the same thing as the course we're talking about. That course is there. Well, if you just take the speeches, the keynotes in aggregate, the course is there as well. What we're doing is all the aspects of making it flow and making one seamlessly fit into the other.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So again, Susan, I would encourage you, and Harriet also, who asked the question, and John, and all y'all. I don't know if you guys know this, but the plural of y'all is all y'all. I really recommend, because you guys sound like you're kind of ready and you're just debating, and don't debate in the vacuum. Do not debate in the vacuum. Book the call with Charlie. This is why we're doing this, is to explore whether or not this is a fit for your topic, for your content, for your business model, and for your revenue model. And if it isn't, trust me, Charlie will tell you before you tell him. We are only working with folks that are going to have a very high return on investment based on what they're already doing, based on their already successful consultant, already successful speaker, already successful trainer, already successful facilitator of CEO groups like Charles Scott was. You saw that example. Already successful career consultant like you saw in the Microsoft story. So this is not something where, oh, let's build a course for building the course. Remember the mantra, build it so they can buy it. Who are you already in front of? And, if you could sell $5,000 or $10,000 of courses every month, here's the sad news, I think. Here's how I thought of myself when I was killing myself in my business back 4 or 5 years ago. Between last month and this month and next month, there's between $15,000 and $30,000 that you're not making. So it's not a question of, oh, gosh, will this work? Might this work? We know this will work if you have the right business model and service model and revenue model. The only missing piece for you is you have no course. There's no course to monetize. So build it so they can buy it is a real mantra. And, let's figure that out together. You and Charlie figure that out together when you book your call at callwithcharlie.com. What else? Any other questions here? We can wrap it up here in the next couple of minutes, but I also don't want to leave anybody behind. Any other question about today's teaching? Anything about what Charlie shared, what I shared, or how an online course can kind of plug into your business that you're working on? Susan says, I live in Florida. I know all about all y'all, and I already booked the call for today. So that's fantastic. Susan's just an awesome human being. She had, so it's funny, just for everyone's benefit, and Charlie, certainly for your benefit, when you talk to Susan, she's a total rock star. She came through the Speaker Profit Formula program. Super proud of her success story. I mean, all of our clients that do the work in that program and apply themselves and stick through the hard parts, they get some pretty incredible results. So that now she is in front of premium audiences that are paying premium fees. Maybe not as often as she would like, but she's working on that. It's a question of, how do I monetize the audiences that I have? Not about, hey, let's go out and get a whole lot more and let's kill ourselves with marketing. If you're out there speaking once, twice, 3 times a month for 10, 12, 15K, awesome. Let's monetize those audiences even further and even faster. So I think you'll love your chat with Susan, because she's a rock star.
Got it.
Anything else we can help with? Any other questions about today's content or fitting an online course into your particular world, your particular topic, your particular business? I think we're good. I think we've exhausted the questions. So Charlie, thank you. I know you've got your calendars filling up pretty quick here. We're going to leave that link open just for another little bit of time here. And it's, again, Call with Charlie. I'm going to put that in the chat box one more time just so you can get some last licks on that. I'm not sure if you still have some slots available maybe for tomorrow or for Friday, but I know that your calendar is filling up. And good luck with the folks that have booked a call. And, I'm on the team here as kind of an advisor and mentor to our clients as well. So I can't wait to hear about your course plans for coursifying and dominating the universe.
Thanks, everybody.